It's been a triple whammy of new model reveals from BMW recently, as the Bavarian brand showcased the facelifted 5 Series, the facelifted 6 Series and the all-new second generation 4 Series Coupe. I'm Gavin from Autocar India and we're going to do a quick run-through of these 3 new models. Before we go any further though, if you like this video, do click on that thumbs up button. And be sure to subscribe to the Autocar India channel for new auto content every day. And let us know in the comments which of these 3 new BMWs you're most excited for. Right, now let's get right into it in numerical order with the 4 Series. Strictly speaking, this is probably the least significant model of the 3 for the Indian market. And what it is essentially is a more stylish 2-door version of the popular 3 Series sedan. Now, I say more stylish, but I'm sure a lot of you have opinions about that grille. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. It's a new direction for BMW and you're going to see more of it, so you might as well get used to it. Other than that, the 4 Series Coupe is a rather clean looking design, with a more aggressively raked roof, muscular rear haunches and, in contrast to the in-your-face front end, the tail is surprisingly subdued, with the latest iteration of BMW's L-shaped tail lamps. The 4 Series is available with a similar suite of engines as the 3 Series overseas, and that means 4-cylinder petrols, the 184 horsepower 420i and 258 horsepower 430i, and a 6-cylinder petrol, the 374 horsepower M440i. Then there are the diesels, the 4-cylinder 190 horsepower 420d plus the 6-cylinder 286 horsepower 430d and 340 horsepower M440d. Moreover, there will likely be PHEV and EV versions down the line. Oh, and of course, an M4 with over 500 horsepower. Inside, it's pretty much the same as the 3 Series, but of course, this is a 2-door with a sloping roof, so the back seats are much smaller and just suited for kids. But much like with the bigger 8 Series, convertible and 4-door Gran Coupe versions are likely to follow. It's also lower, wider and stiffer than a 3 Series, so expect the handling to be even better. Now the big question, will it come to India? Well, as for the standard guises, we don't know for sure, but given the success of the locally assembled X4, it is a possibility. And that M440i would make a good rival to the likes of the AMG C43 and the Audi S5. But it remains to be seen which body styles they choose to bring here. What's almost certain though is that we will get the M4, as we did with the previous generation. What is definitely coming to India is the facelifted 5 Series. The luxury sedan gets a sharper, more business-like look all around thanks to new headlamps with BMW's latest L-shaped DRL signature, new bumpers and of course a bigger grille that's mounted lower this time around. Still, it's not as big or in your face as the one in the 4 Series or the 7 Series. At the back, there's a new design for the tail lamps and trapezoidal tailpipes, and BMW says the new bodywork makes this car 27mm longer and improves aerodynamics, giving it a class-leading drag coefficient of 0.23. Inside, not too much has changed, but you will find a new color display for the climate control like in the 7 Series, the latest version of BMW's digital dials, which we don't love so much, and the latest version of the iDrive infotainment system, which we do. Moreover, while lower models get a 10.3-inch touchscreen, which is about the same size as the current cars, higher variants will get a larger 12.3-inch unit. And now, the 6 Series Gran Turismo facelift, which gets changes quite similar to the ones on the 5 Series. Here too, you'll find new headlamps with the L-shaped DRL signature, new bumpers and a new grille. Only this one is far more angular and mimics the one on its SUV counterpart, the X6. At the rear of the 6 GT, there are similarly minor changes, just as there were on the 5. And on the inside too, the updates are very subtle, apart from that bigger 12.3-inch touchscreen, which on this car is standard. Coming to the engines, globally it's offered as a 258 horsepower 4-cylinder 630i petrol, a 333 horsepower 6-cylinder 640i petrol, a 190 horsepower 4-cylinder 620d diesel, a 286 horsepower 6-cylinder 630d diesel, and a 340 horsepower 6-cylinder 640d diesel. All mated to 8-speed torque converter automatic gearboxes. Not surprisingly, these are pretty much the same engines you'll find in the 5 Series facelift globally, but for the sedan you get a few more options. There are two petrol plug-in hybrids, the 4-cylinder 530e and the 6-cylinder 545e, as well as the powerful M550i with a 530 horsepower 4.4-litre V8. And yes, there will eventually be an updated M5, which could even get a more hardcore CS variant. Overseas, all engines for both these cars now come with 48-volt mild hybrid systems, but it remains to be seen if BMW brings these to India or will just continue with the existing engines, the 30i, the 20D and the 30D, as they've all just been upgraded to BS6. Both models will take on the new Audi A6, the Jaguar XF, the Lexus ES, the Volvo S90 and the heavily facelifted Mercedes-Benz E-Class, which will replace the current model. So when are these new Beamers coming to India? Well, with all launches in the auto industry having been delayed by some extent, don't expect the updated 5 and 6 series or indeed the 4 series to come here until at least early 2021. But don't worry, as BMW India does have some interesting launches lined up for the rest of the year.